Have you ever walked into a room and immediately noticed that one person who commands attention without saying a word? Not the loudest voice, not the flashiest dresser, but the individual whose mere presence seems to shift the entire energy of the space? That's the power of a true Sigma male. And today, we're going to decode exactly how they achieve this magnetic influence without ever raising their voice. Welcome back to Official Sigma Male, where we dive deep into the psychology and strategies that separate the wolves from the sheep in today's competitive world. I'm your host, and if you're here, you already understand that there's something fundamentally different about how Sigma males operate. While alphas dominate through volume and betas seek approval through compliance, Sigmas have mastered something far more sophisticated: the art of quiet command. Think about the most respected figures in history, from Steve Jobs to Clint Eastwood. Iconic characters, from successful entrepreneurs to legendary leaders. What they all share isn't the ability to shout the loudest, but rather the capacity to make every word count, every gesture meaningful, and every moment of silence powerful. This is the Sigma advantage, and it's something every man can develop. Once he understands the underlying principles, the modern world is drowning in noise. Social media has created a culture where everyone's fighting for attention, where volume is mistaken for value, and where the loudest voice often wins the conversation. But here's what most men don't realize. This creates the perfect environment for Sigma males to shine. While others are shouting to be heard, Sigmas are building something far more valuable: genuine respect and authentic influence. Today's breakdown isn't just theory. It's a practical roadmap that will transform how you carry yourself, how others perceive you, and how you navigate every social and professional situation. We're going to explore the subtle art of commanding respect through presence, not pressure, through competence, not competition, through strategic silence, not endless chatter. The psychology of quiet power. The most profound truth about human psychology is this: we are hardwired to respect those who don't desperately seek our approval. This isn't just social theory. It's evolutionary biology playing out in every interaction you have. When a Sigma male walks into a room and doesn't immediately try to prove himself, something ancient in our brains recognizes this as a sign of genuine strength. Think about it from a survival perspective. Throughout human history, the most dangerous predators were never the loudest ones. The lion doesn't roar before it hunts. It roars after it's already established dominance. The most successful leaders in tribal societies weren't the ones constantly talking about their achievements. They were the ones whose actions spoke so loudly that words became unnecessary. This is the psychological foundation of quiet power, and it's still operational in every boardroom, social gathering, and personal relationship today. The modern world has created a paradox that most men completely miss. We're living in the noisiest era in human history, yet we're also living in the era where genuine listening has become the rarest skill. While everyone else is fighting for airtime, the Sigma male is gathering intelligence. While others are broadcasting their insecurities through constant chatter, the Sigma is building a comprehensive understanding of the room, the people, and the underlying dynamics that actually matter. This creates what psychologists call the scarcity effect. When something becomes rare, it automatically becomes more valuable. In a world where everyone's talking, the man who chooses his words carefully becomes magnetic. In an environment where everyone's performing, the man who simply exists authentically becomes fascinating. This isn't manipulation. It's strategic. Positioning based on understanding human nature. The neurological basis for this is fascinating. When someone speaks constantly, our brains actually start to tune them out. It's called habituation. But when someone speaks rarely, our attention systems activate because we unconsciously recognize that what they're about to say might be important. This is why a Sigma male's words carry more weight than an alpha's commands or a beta's pleas. The brain is primed to pay attention. Consider the difference between a man who enters a business meeting and immediately starts talking about his weekend, his opinions on the weather, and his thoughts on the latest sports game, versus a man who enters, makes purposeful eye contact, gives a firm handshake, and then sits quietly while gathering information about the meeting's actual agenda. The second man is already establishing himself as someone who understands priorities, who values efficiency, and who doesn't need to fill silence with noise. This principle extends beyond professional settings. In social situations, the Sigma male, who can sit comfortably with silence while others scramble to fill the void, is demonstrating a level of emotional regulation that others find both attractive and respectable. It suggests that he's comfortable with himself, that he doesn't need external validation to feel valuable, and that he's confident enough in his own worth to not constantly prove it. The psychological concept of presence is crucial here. Presence isn't about being physically imposing or verbally dominant. It's about being fully engaged with the current moment without being reactive to it. When a Sigma male is present, he's not thinking about what he's going to say next. He's not worried about how he's being perceived, and he's not trying to control the conversation. He's simply there, fully aware, fully engaged, and fully secure in his own value. This creates a magnetic effect because most people spend their entire lives either lost in their own thoughts or desperately trying to manage others' perceptions of them. When they encounter someone who's genuinely present, it's like finding water in a desert. They're drawn to that stability, that groundedness, that rare quality of authentic engagement. The Sigma male understands that respect isn't given to those who demand it, but to those who deserve it. And you don't deserve respect because of what you say about yourself. You deserve it because of what you consistently demonstrate through your actions, your decisions, and your responses to both success and failure. This is why quiet power is so effective in conflict situations. When someone is yelling, the natural human response is to either yell back or to shrink away. But the Sigma male, who can remain calm, speak in measured tones, and address the actual issues rather than the emotional drama, automatically becomes the adult in the room. Others look to him for stability and leadership, not because he's trying to lead, but because he's demonstrating the kind of emotional regulation that others wish they had. The mastery of quiet power also involves understanding the difference between confidence and arrogance. Arrogance is loud, defensive, and constantly needs to prove itself. Confidence is quiet, secure, and lets results speak for themselves. The Sigma male has learned to trust his own competence so completely that he doesn't need others to validate it constantly. This psychological understanding extends to how Sigmas handle compliments and criticism. When someone compliments a Sigma male, he doesn't deflect with false modesty or inflate with ego. He simply acknowledges it and moves on. When someone criticizes him, he doesn't get defensive or launch a counterattack. He evaluates the feedback objectively and either learns from it or dismisses it based on its merit, not its source. The power of this approach becomes evident in long-term relationships and professional environments. People begin to associate the Sigma male with reliability, wisdom, and strength, not because he's told them he possesses these qualities, but because he's consistently demonstrated them through his responses to various situations. Understanding the psychology of quiet power means recognizing that influence isn't about getting people to do what you want in the moment. It's about becoming the kind of person that others naturally want to follow, respect, and trust. This requires a fundamental shift from external validation to internal validation, from reactive behavior to responsive behavior, and from proving your worth to simply being worthy. The Sigma male who masters this principle doesn't need to shout, to command respect, because he's built something far more valuable, a reputation for competence, reliability, and strength that precedes him into every room and every relationship. This is the foundation upon which all other Sigma characteristics are built. Building unshakable inner confidence. True confidence isn't built in front of a mirror repeating affirmations. It's forged in the crucible of real-world competence and consistent action. The Sigma male understands that confidence is a byproduct of capability, not a prerequisite for it. This fundamental shift in thinking separates authentic confidence from the hollow bravado that crumbles under pressure. The foundation of unshakable confidence lies in what psychologists call earned self-efficacy. This means you've proven to yourself through repeated experience that you can handle whatever life throws at you. It's not about believing you're invincible. It's about knowing you're adaptable, resourceful, and resilient enough to find solutions when problems arise. Every Sigma male has a mental inventory of challenges he's overcome, skills he's developed, and growth he's achieved. This isn't about living in the past. It's about building a reliable internal database that reminds him of his capability when facing new challenges. When you know you've solved difficult problems before, new obstacles become puzzles to solve, rather than threats to fear. The key is starting small and building momentum. Choose one area where you're currently weak and systematically improve it. Learn a new skill, tackle a project you've been avoiding, or have a difficult conversation you've been postponing. Each small victory builds the neural pathways that support genuine confidence. Physical competence plays a crucial role here. The Sigma male who can handle himself physically, whether through martial arts, weight training, or outdoor skills, carries himself differently than one who's never tested his physical limits. This isn't about being a fighter. It's about knowing you can handle yourself if the situation demands it. Financial competence is equally important. A man who's learned to manage money, build savings, and create multiple income streams operates from a position of strength rather than desperation. This security allows him to make decisions based on what's right rather than what's safe. The Sigma male also builds confidence through continuous learning. He reads voraciously, seeks mentorship, and constantly expands his knowledge base. This intellectual preparation means he can contribute meaningfully to conversations across diverse topics and make informed decisions quickly. Perhaps most importantly, unshakable confidence comes from radical self-acceptance. This means acknowledging your flaws without being defined by them, accepting your limitations while working to expand them, and understanding that your worth isn't determined by external circumstances or others' opinions. The confident Sigma male doesn't need to be the smartest person in the room. He just needs to be smart enough to recognize when he's not, and humble enough to learn from those who are. This intellectual humility, paradoxically, makes him more respected than those who pretend to know everything. This inner confidence manifests in how he handles failure and criticism. Instead of seeing failure as a reflection of his worth, he sees it as information about what doesn't work. Instead of taking criticism personally, he evaluates it objectively and either learns from it or dismisses it based on its merit. The truly confident Sigma male can admit when he's wrong, apologize when he's hurt someone, and change course when he's gotten off track. This flexibility isn't weakness. It's the ultimate expression of strength because it shows he's secure enough to prioritize truth over ego, the art of strategic communication. The Sigma male treats every conversation like a chess game, not because he's manipulative, but because he understands that communication is strategic by nature. Every word choice, every pause, every question has the potential to move the interaction in a particular direction. Mastering this art means becoming intentional about your communication rather than reactive. The first principle of strategic communication is listening to understand, not to respond. While others are formulating their next argument, the Sigma male is gathering information about what the other person actually values, fears, and wants. This intelligence allows him to communicate in ways that resonate, rather than simply making noise. Timing is everything in strategic communication. The Sigma male knows when to speak and when to remain silent. He doesn't feel compelled to fill every pause or respond to every provocation. Sometimes the most powerful response is no response at all. This selective engagement forces others to work harder for his attention and makes his actual contributions more valuable. When he does speak, every word counts. The Sigma male has eliminated filler words, unnecessary qualifiers, and verbal tics from his speech. He speaks in complete thoughts, uses precise language, and delivers his message with conviction. This economy of words makes each statement more impactful. The strategic Sigma male also masters the art of the question. Instead of making statements that can be argued with, he asks questions that guide others to the conclusions he wants them to reach. This Socratic approach makes people feel like they're discovering truth rather than being told what to think. Non-verbal communication is equally important. The Sigma male maintains appropriate eye contact, uses purposeful gestures, and positions his body to convey confidence and engagement. He understands that what he doesn't say is often more important than what he does say. In difficult conversations, the Sigma male remains calm and addresses issues directly without attacking the person. He separates the behavior from the individual, focuses on solutions rather than blame, and maintains his composure even when others become emotional. The strategic communicator also knows how to use silence as a tool. When someone makes an unreasonable demand or says something inappropriate, the Sigma male's silence creates psychological pressure that often leads to the other person either clarifying their position or backing down. Perhaps most importantly, the Sigma male communicates with authenticity. He doesn't try to be someone he's not or say what he thinks others want to hear. This genuine communication builds trust and respect because people know they're getting the real person, not a performance. Nonverbal mastery and presence. Your body language communicates volumes before you ever open your mouth. The Sigma male understands that nonverbal communication accounts for over 55% of all human interaction, making it perhaps the most crucial skill to master. This isn't about intimidation or dominance. It's about conveying competence, confidence, and approachability through your physical presence. Posture is the foundation of powerful non-verbal communication. The Sigma male stands and sits with his spine straight, shoulders back and chest open. This isn't a rigid military stance. It's a relaxed but alert posture that conveys confidence and readiness. This posture alone triggers respect in others because it signals that you're comfortable taking up space and ready to handle whatever comes your way. Eye contact is a superpower that most men underutilize. The Sigma male maintains appropriate eye contact, not the aggressive stare of an alpha trying to dominate, but the steady, confident gaze of someone who's genuinely engaged. When he looks at you, he's fully present, not scanning the room for someone more important to talk to. The way you occupy space matters enormously. The Sigma male doesn't sprawl or invade others' personal space, but he also doesn't shrink or make himself smaller. He takes up the space he needs, moves with purpose, and positions himself strategically in social situations. He understands that how you position yourself in a room affects how others perceive your importance. Gestures should be purposeful and controlled. The Sigma male doesn't fidget, check his phone constantly, or make nervous movements. When he gestures, it's to emphasize a point or add clarity to his communication. This controlled movement suggests emotional regulation and thoughtfulness. The handshake is a crucial first impression tool. The Sigma male's handshake is firm but not crushing, brief but not rushed, and paired with appropriate eye contact. This simple interaction often sets the tone for the entire relationship. Facial expressions should match your words and intentions. The Sigma male has learned to control his facial expressions, showing appropriate emotion without being reactive. He can maintain a neutral expression when others are trying to provoke him, or show genuine interest when someone is sharing something important. Voice tonality is technically verbal, but it's part of your overall presence. The Sigma male speaks from his chest, not his throat, creating a deeper, more resonant tone. He varies his pace and volume for emphasis, uses pauses effectively, and never sounds rushed or anxious. The Sigma male also understands the power of mirroring and matching. He subtly mirrors the energy and posture of people he's connecting with, creating unconscious rapport. This isn't mimicry, it's strategic adaptation that helps others feel comfortable and understood. Perhaps most importantly, the Sigma male's nonverbal communication is congruent with his words and intentions. There's no disconnect between what he's saying and what his body is communicating. This alignment creates trustworthiness and makes his communication more persuasive. Leading through competence, not title, true leadership has nothing to do with your position on an organizational chart and everything to do with your ability to solve problems, make decisions, and inspire confidence in others. The Sigma male understands that authentic leadership is earned through demonstrated competence, not assigned through corporate hierarchy. The foundation of competence-based leadership is becoming genuinely skilled at something valuable. This means developing expertise that others need, whether it's technical knowledge, problem-solving ability, or strategic thinking. The Sigma male doesn't try to be good at everything. He becomes exceptional at the things that matter most. In his field, reliability is the cornerstone of leadership credibility. The Sigma male does what he says he's going to do when he said he'd do it, at the quality level he promised. This consistency builds trust over time, and trust is the currency of leadership. People follow those they trust, regardless of official titles. The competent leader also demonstrates emotional intelligence in high-pressure situations. When others are panicking, the Sigma male remains calm and focused on solutions. This emotional stability makes him a natural anchor point for teams and organizations during turbulent times. Taking ownership is crucial for competence-based leadership. The Sigma male doesn't blame others for failures or take credit for others' successes. He owns his mistakes, learns from them, and takes responsibility for outcomes. This integrity makes others want to follow him because they know he won't throw them under the bus. The Sigma leader also develops and empowers others. Instead of hoarding knowledge or opportunities, he shares them strategically. He mentors promising individuals, delegates meaningful responsibilities, and creates opportunities for others to grow. This multiplication of talent increases his influence and impact. Decision-making ability sets true leaders apart from managers. The Sigma male can gather information quickly, weigh options objectively, and make decisions confidently even with incomplete information. He understands that indecision is often worse than an imperfect decision. Perhaps most importantly, the competent leader leads by example. His actions align with his words, his standards apply to himself first, and his behavior sets the tone for others. He doesn't ask people to do things he wouldn't do himself, and he doesn't expect standards from others that he doesn't maintain personally. This type of leadership creates voluntary followership. People choose to follow competent leaders because they trust their judgment, respect their integrity, and believe in their ability to achieve results. This is far more powerful than positional authority because it survives organizational changes and career transitions. Maintaining frame under pressure. The ultimate test of Sigma strength isn't how you handle success. It's how you respond when everything is falling apart. Maintaining frame under pressure means staying true to your values, keeping your composure, and making rational decisions even when others are losing their minds. This ability to remain steady in chaos is what separates true leaders from fair weather. Friends, frame is your mental and emotional foundation, your core beliefs about yourself, your capabilities, and your worth. When you have a strong frame, external circumstances don't shake your internal stability. You can acknowledge that a situation is challenging without believing that you're inadequate to handle it. The first step in maintaining frame is preparation. The Sigma male, who consistently maintains frame, has done the mental work beforehand. He's visualized potential challenges, developed response strategies, and built the emotional resilience necessary to handle adversity. This preparation isn't pessimism, it's strategic readiness. Emotional regulation is crucial for maintaining frame. This means feeling emotions without being controlled by them. The Sigma male can experience anger, frustration, or disappointment while still making rational decisions. He doesn't suppress emotions, but he doesn't let them drive his behavior either. When others are trying to provoke you, maintaining frame means not taking the bait. The Sigma male understands that people often try to knock others off balance to gain advantage. He recognizes these attempts and chooses not to engage in emotional reactions that would compromise his position. Under pressure, the Sigma male focuses on what he can control rather than what he can't. He doesn't waste energy complaining about circumstances beyond his influence. Instead, he directs his attention and effort toward actions that can actually improve the situation. The ability to think clearly under pressure is a learnable skill. The Sigma male practices staying calm in low-stakes situations so he can access that same composure when the stakes are higher. This might mean meditation, physical training, or deliberately putting himself in challenging situations to build resilience. Maintaining frame also means sticking to your principles when it's difficult. The Sigma male doesn't compromise his values for short-term convenience or to avoid conflict. This consistency builds respect from others and self-respect from within. Perhaps most importantly, maintaining frame under pressure means viewing challenges as opportunities for growth rather than threats to your identity. The Sigma male who can maintain this perspective stays resourceful and creative even in difficult situations, often finding solutions that others miss because they're too focused on the problem. The journey from seeking respect to naturally commanding, it is one of the most transformative experiences a man can undergo. Throughout this deep dive, we've explored how Sigma males achieve something that eludes most men, the ability to influence and inspire without ever resorting to volume, aggression, or attention-seeking behaviors. What sets this approach apart isn't just its effectiveness, it's its sustainability. When you build respect through competence, consistency, and quiet confidence, you create something that can't be taken away by circumstances, politics, or the whims of others. You become a man who others naturally turn to for guidance, not because you demand it, but because you've proven worthy of it. The Sigma path isn't about becoming someone else. It's about becoming the best version of yourself. It's about understanding that true strength doesn't need to announce itself, that real confidence doesn't require constant validation, and that lasting respect is earned through actions, not words. Remember, every moment of silence you choose over unnecessary speech, every calm response you give instead of an emotional reaction, every time you let your competence speak before your ego. These are the building blocks of unshakable respect. The world needs more men who understand that leadership isn't about being the loudest voice in the room, but about being the voice that others actually want to hear. If this resonates with you, if you're ready to stop chasing respect and start commanding it naturally, then you belong in this community. Hit that subscribe button and join thousands of men who are transforming their lives through Sigma principles. Your future self will thank you for making this commitment to growth and excellence. The path of the Sigma male isn't easy, but it's worth every step. Welcome to your transformation.